Welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me, new subscribers and older ones. I'm just going to do a quick share of some of the stuff I've been making over the last few weeks. These things are mostly going to be freebies, maybe. I'm not quite sure yet, but I like to, as probably a lot of you know, I make and sometimes sell my journals, and I like to put a little extra something or other in with them. So this is what I've been up to. I've been bulk making. These are, let me see, these are following Gina Wiseman's tutorials. These are a tutorial from Brown Baby Craftaholic. These are my own, basically, as are these journals. So let me show you what they are. I don't want to spend hours doing this, but it looks like a lot, but most of these didn't actually take very long. So these little 4x6 journals are made using 6x6 paper pads, and the tutorial for these is on I think it's on Instagram, you know, the TV bit of Instagram. I'm going to put links underneath for all of these people, and thank you for sharing, all of you. So there's a little envelope on the cover, pocket on the inside of the front cover and the inside of the back cover here and here. The envelope flap forms the closure, and I've just filled it with scraps, really, some of the paper pad, some bits of tea dyed paper, just, I think this is a pocket here, just bits and bobs that I had, and I've used a 6x6 in the centre for my centre. So, and on the front of these I've got, this is from the Observer bird book. This one, as you can see, is my favourite flower fairies. Put some bit more colour in this one. So that's that one. And obviously this is a similar one. These are from Gina's tutorial, very similar to what she made. So it's basically a little notebook just with a few scrappy pages in. I've made a lot of journals over the last few weeks, perhaps the last 6 or 7 weeks, so I have a lot of scraps at the moment. And this is just some vintage fabric, some vintage lace and a little button. So I've made, how many of these have I done? 3, 4, 6 of those. So thank you, Gina, for that. And this is also Gina's, these, I got a bit obsessed with these, and I've ended up with about 12. I think I made a couple more, but a friend has bagged a couple of these. So this is a brilliant design by Gina, and the closure, if I can open it, oh, I've got it knotted. There we go. So again, they're just little booklets, and I'll direct you to Gina's tutorial for these. I've got flower fairies on the front of mine. She did her fronts slightly differently, but everything else I've done pretty much as she did it. And again, they're just filled with little scrappy bits and pieces. So that's that one. Some older papers, some newer book pages. Let's show you another one. Let's do this one. This one I did a slightly different way of closing it. which I quite liked, but I prefer Gina's, so I've got just a couple like this. The majority have got this sort of tab on it, so those were really fun to make. And then I'd got some envelopes, and a lot of people are doing envelope art constructions. I did it a little bit differently, so this is just this is an envelope which I glued closed. I think in this country it's policy size, maybe D10, I don't know. Anyway, it's literally that size. I've just covered it in vintage fabric. Again, I've filled it, these are 4.5 by 4.5, the pages are a bit smaller, and it's just filled with scrappy bits and pieces. I've tied a button on the front and I've closed it with a bit of twine. These, I was really pleased with these actually. It's probably a bit more me, I guess, than Gina's, much as I enjoyed making Gina's. This is a little bit more my style. So it's fabric front and back on the envelope, and very, very simple little booklets. I liked those. These I haven't made all in the last week. I've made these over a period of time, and these are just using Stamperia papers. I'll just show you inside one. They're what do you call it? Oh gosh, why do your words go when you're doing this? You've got no bits, they're not embellished in any way, they're just blank, naked, paper filled journals. Hopefully interesting bits of paper for people. If you end up with one of these somewhere along the line, you'll be able to decorate them how you want. Some of them have got book plate on. Those papers were so pretty, they didn't really need decorating. So that was a pad called Rose Garden. This one, I can't remember what pad that was. I think that was, maybe that wasn't Stamperia. I've got a little bit of graphic 45 here. And, oh, that's another, oh, I don't know, I think that might be Rose Garden as well. Anyway, that's those. Thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.